I survived 100 days in hardcore Minecraft. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wildlings, you wouldn't even make it to 10 days. Well, my dear viewer, you're probably right. But before we continue, I have some Christmas wishes. I know it sounds crazy, but can we get 100 subscribers before we enter 2023? It will make me really happy. But anyway, let's start the video. I spawned in the savannah on top of a tree and I started chopping my way down. I crafted a crafting table and made a wooden pickaxe, and I then went to the side of a cliff where stone was easy to get. I got enough stone to craft a stone pickaxe, and I then mined out more stone to make tools and a furnace. After that I mined the coal, which were right next to the stone I dug. So I then made out for exploration in the forest nearby. I quickly spotted a cave with iron in it, and so I went there to mine it. It ended up to just be one, but it was enough to craft a shield. So in the meantime, I killed some pigs and cooked the meat, and then I made the shield. I then looked after more iron, and I found a huge cave, but I only mined where it was daylight because it spawned many monsters underneath the ground. I got myself a bunch of iron and I then walked out of the cave. When I walked in the forest, it started getting dark, but I didn't have any wool to make a bed, so I dug myself in the ground and smelted some iron to make armor, and I made a chest plate and some better tools. A creeper was defending some sheep, but I defeated him and I killed the sheep. Now I could make a bed and sleep, and I had just survived the very first day. Day 2 started with me hunting some cows and pigs. I spotted a plains biome and I climbed up a mountain and got an insane view over the area. And I jumped down to a narrow waterfall and landed safely on the ground. When I arrived at the plains, I realized it was nothing special, so I went to a lake with sugar canes and harvested it. For the rest of day 2, I explored and tried to find a place I could settle and build a base. On the morning of day 3, I found the weirdest beach I've ever seen. It looked like a mini desert for me, but still, it's pretty weird. Some minutes later, I found a little place sandwiched between a mountain and a few hills, and I went up the mountain to look how big it was. When I was looking around, I found a village, and earlier I had found a saddle and horse armor in a spider dungeon in the mountain. So I tamed one that was fast, but it didn't jump high enough, so I changed my mind and got a much better one. I then went back and dug a hole for my new friend and set up a camp, and was getting ready for day 4. On day 4 I needed a bucket and I didn't have any iron, but I found a water cave and swam down to an iron vein. I used the magma block to not drown, but I almost drowned to get way up. Now that I have iron, I could plant the potatoes. Between day 5 and 6, I went caving in a cave I found underwater earlier and mined a lot of iron and other ores. I also spotted diamonds very quickly and found in total 4 diamonds. Not much happened on day 7, except I found a stone shore with lots and lots of coal, so I spent the day mining out most of it. On day 8, I started chopping trees around my little camp to get more space for a base. On day 9, I expanded my potato farm and started planting wheat as well. From day 10 all the way to day 22, I spent an enormous amount of time collecting materials from my starter base. I also fell down a ravine with my horse, and I didn't want to waste time getting him up, so I took his saddle and horse armor and left him. I still miss him. On day 23 I prepared the area I was going to build a house, and what I'm using here is a mod called Litematica, and there will be a link to the mod in the description. I finally started building my house from day 24 to day 29. And by the way, I didn't design this. This was made by TBCrafts0, and there will be a link to his Reddit post in the description, where I found it. On day 30, I went on a quick trip down to a cave to get more resources. I started mining down to level -58 on day 31 to 32, and it took an extreme amount of time, but eventually I got there. On day 33 I went mining and I heard zombie noises, so I tried to find them and I discovered a mineshaft. I found a cave spider spawn, which is one of the best XP farm spawners. I explored more and I found lots and lots of diamonds. It was insane how much it was. When I felt I had enough diamonds I went back up, but I didn't want to craft diamonds armor yet, because I wanted a XP farm, and since I found spawner, I wanted to make a XP grinder, but the day was closing in, so I just planted some sugarcane for books. On day 35 I gathered resources for the XP farm and I started making it. And on day 36 it was finished. On day 37 I forgot to hit record, but what I did was getting some cows for leather, and I made my farm again. I then AFK'd a bit to breed more cows, and when it got dark some old friends visited, but I easily took them down. Between day 39 and 40 I didn't want to wait much for the cows and the sugarcane, so I hunted cows and found more sugarcane. And I also met an old friend, first horse I got. I was very sorry I had left him and switched him out, but he was cool with it. On day 41 I went down to the XP farm and grinded some levels, and after that I expanded the sugarcane farm. On day 42 I watched the sugarcane grow. Day 43 to 46 was just me grinding levels and upgrading my tools, and in the end, this is what I got. I was tired of all of the enchanting, so I went back up. I decided I wanted to start villager trading for my eventual plan to kill the Ender Dragon. So I went to the nearby village and borrowed some villagers. It took a bit of time to getting them up the hill, but I got them in the end because I used a piston and a pressure plate. On day 49 I gathered a bunch of resources for my villager breeder, and I mined lots and lots of sand on the beach and I smelted it. I finally had reached the halfway point. I was really happy I had made it this far, and I didn't celebrate much except placing down a sign as a memory. I decided it would be a wonderful idea to have the villager breeder underneath my base. So on day 51 I started mining and it was done on day 52. I wanted to build a villager breeder outside, so I found a spot and started building it between day 53 and 54. On day 55 I ran out of iron and gold, so I went mining and I found much of it. A creeper almost made me lose my world, but thankfully I had a shield. On day 56 I crafted a bunch of rails from the villagers to get transported to the future trade hall. When I reached day 57, I realized if I was going to make a proper good trading hall, I was going to need slime, so I set out on an adventure to find a swamp, and it almost took the whole day, but eventually I found one, and there was already some slime there, and I ended up with over a stack. Day 58 was just me on my way home. On day 59 I knew I was going to need blaze rods, and the only way to get that was to find a fortress in the nether, so I made a portal and tried to find a fortress. After some time I had found one, and I realized my shield had low durability, so I needed to be careful. But I managed to kill many blazes, and when I had enough I went home. It took some time to find my portal, but I found it in the end. On day 60 I brewed some splash potions of weakness for my villagers, and I used up all of my gold on golden apples. I was bored on day 61, so I made some trading stations for my villager. On day 62 I gathered a bunch of spruce wood and also collected resources for the training hall. On day 63 I almost had everything I needed, but I was lacking some name tags, so I went to the village on day 64 and traded until I got 5 name tags. And on day 66 I had enough. Before I was going to build the training hall, I needed a bigger space, so on day 67 I dug it wider. On day 68 I did absolutely nothing. Between day 69 and 70 I built the trading hall. And I would trade, upgrade and gear up between day 70 and day 80, and in the end I upgraded all of my tools. On day 81 I had used up all of my gold on golden apples, so I went to the nether to get more. Between day 82 and 86 I needed iron since I wanted to build a super smelter, and I needed hoppers. And on day 87 I built the super smelter. When I was crafting new golden apples, I had almost used up all of the gold I had collected. From day 88 to 90, I traded with the villagers, and one of them gave me pearls that I needed to get to the stronghold, and I eventually got enough. On day 91 I started looking after the stronghold, and it didn't take a long time before I found it. I dug down and heard monsters and mined in the direction I heard them. I found the stronghold and looked after the portal. And after some time looking for it, I found it. I opened the portal and prepared to fight. I began to realize I still wasn't hardcore, and if I died, everything would be wasted. But I'm not afraid, so I jumped in the portal and dug upwards to find the surface. I started shooting the towers, and some of them was a bit hard to get, so I climbed up on the tallest tower and shot the rest of the towers. Then I shot arrows at the dragon, but I ran out of it really fast, so I needed to wait for it to come down. He always got away, and at one point he got me so high up I almost had died, but I'm so happy I had fair falling. Finally, he had gotten no health, and I managed to kill him. I was feeling so happy. I then collected the XP and got myself the dragon egg and went home. On day 94 I had used up all of my levels on a bow. Yes, I know it was probably a stupid decision, but I didn't care. The reason I needed one was to fight shulkers. That's right, I wanted an elytra. So I went back to the end on day 95 and went to the portal to find end cities. I used a pearl to get in, and I kid you not, there was a ship right where I spawned. So I pearled to the island and climbed up to the ship, and I got the elytra. But since I thought I was going to take some time to find one, and it was nothing to find, so I crafted some rockets and flew to find a new and bigger end city. And I found actually 2 end cities, and one of them had a ship. So I raided them for everything they had. And then I went home. On day 26 I enchanted my elytra with mending and unbreaking. I then traded with my villagers as usual. I wanted to see the area I was living in from above, so I flew up and it was very fun. On day 97 and 98 I prepared fireworks for day 100 to celebrate what I had achieved. I of course forgot to hit record on day 99, but that didn't matter because now it was day 100 and I celebrated with fireworks. And that was that. I had survived 100 days in Minecraft Hardcore. I had done so much on just one life and I felt really happy. Now that 2022 is close to ending, I have some wishes. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe because this video took an extreme amount of time to make. But if you want a 200 days in hardcore Minecraft, I want 100 subscribers before 2023. And this video needs, let's say, 50 likes. If you can do both of that, I promise 100% I will make a 200 days video. So thank you so much for watching. This will be the last video of 2022, but I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye bye.